Welcome, everyone. We're happy tonight, as you can tell. Very happy tonight. Although, we're going to get into a little bit of why we might be a bit of a muted happy, but nevertheless, it's a win. Atlanta United 4-1 against Atlas. A very strange scoreline that I don't think a lot of people expected. And we have to make the joke. Gonzalo Pineda came back to Atlanta for one reason. To lose. That is a really strange turn of events. I actually had Atlanta United losing this match. Now looking back on it, I underestimated significantly just how bad Atlas was. And it wasn't even as if they were just exclusively using their second team. They weren't. They just aren't very good. I don't know how much that has to do with Gonzalo Pineda in particular, or just that their personnel is just not very good, or what kind of troubles and tribulations they're going through. Needless to say, we look like a team that really didn't have any, which is, quite a nice turn from what we're used to seeing. There was link-up play tonight. There was talent from way outside the box tonight. Almada-esque, I'd say. And we had some debut stars rise up as well. It had a lot of different things that unfortunately have been missing from a lot of Atlanta United games. And before we get more into that, just want to, actually we'll do that in a minute. But first, we'll start off with getting AJ in here, and then I'm going to run an ad in a little bit. But first, AJ, what is you were at the game as usual. What was your feeling? I know there was like a 22,000 or some odd number of people at the game, according to the, ticket sale number. But how did it feel? How did it look? And were you expecting this scoreline?
Yeah, going to the game, it definitely just like, oh man, just dreading what could have happened. Because Gonzalo Pineda on the other side, Ronnie Dyla suspended for this match. And yeah, I could just hear the banter that could possibly happen. Unfortunately, yeah, we probably wouldn't understand most of it because it would be in Spanish. So, the other side of it would be that, yes, it could have gone completely sideways tonight, but somehow Gonzalo Pineda and Atlas suck worse than the Five Stripes right now. And I couldn't be happier, because that would have been, pretty ugly. And the boos would have rained down really, really hard. But instead, we had cheers, we had claps, and man, after 10 games, we finally know what a win feels like again. And it honestly actually didn't really feel like a friendly. It actually felt pretty competitive to a degree in terms of, both sides took it seriously. But yeah, I think we were far and away the better side. And, their goal was a little bit of a gut punch. But yeah, it's
that worldy, man. That was wild of a shot. That deflection too. There's no way Hibbert was getting to that.
Yeah, no way. But yeah, the foul before that was dumb, and it sucks because, yeah, as you were saying it, Gonzalo Pineda, if we had kept that clean sheet, he would have come back to Atlanta for nothing.
Yeah.
But instead, couldn't do it. We couldn't keep that clean sheet like we do. And yeah, it's with a makeshift defense, it's what you can expect a little bit. Is there were some moments, some heart and mouth moments, but not too many of them, thankfully. And I think against a pretty toothless Atlas side that we were playing Ronald Hernandez at center back for a majority of the match.
Yeah.
Like how?
Out of the run of play, they weren't able to generate too much. I remember earlier on they had that one cross that we let them get off, and They had a header that was just off target. That one looked pretty good, and for a second I thought, damn, maybe they're going to have some quality in terms of their shots on us, and this might run up the score a bit. But after that, it got quiet. It got quiet from them. So, I mean, luckily for us. Before we get further into it, let me run this ad. This is, again, Giant Sports Cards. Thanks for sponsoring us, and here you go.
This segment is brought to you by Giant Sports Cards. For passionate collectors of every level, from rookies to veterans, Giant Sports Cards is the modern-day sports card shop that celebrates your love of the game, because only Giant brings the fun, treats every customer like an MVP with their GOAT level of customer service, delivers a game-changing shopping experience through technologies and amenities such as their Ultimate Collector's Cave retail shop, and offers the hottest cards at the lowest prices. Make sure to use our code FANTV and get 10% off your order. Check out Giant Sports Cards today at giantsportscards.com.
All right. So, yeah, thanks again, Giant Sports Cards. Help us keep the lights on. Yeah, so this game, like I said, wasn't really expecting what happened. Like I said, I thought we were going to lose. Again, I just think I underestimated just how poor Atlas was going to be. So that's on me for not doing my, I guess, scouting report on Atlas. I just assumed, Atlanta Unite, because, I mean, in the Discord we talk about, it's like every time we lose a game, it's like, wow, can this team even beat like a USL team? Can this team beat an Atlanta United Academy team? This is getting real bad at this point, because we are the historically, worst Atlanta United team of like all time. So people start putting up bizarre hypotheticals in terms of what we can and cannot do. So, Gonzalo Pineda was also seemed to be written in the stars about a narrative of us getting trounced by a previous manager that we let go with essentially a lot of disdain. A lot of fans were like, this guy just doesn't cut it. He is not a good manager. We need to do better. And if we were to come back and rub our faces in it, that would have just kind of been the cherry on top in terms of hurting us as a fan base this season.
Yeah, it would have been the cherry on top of a poop cake, essentially. And,
Yeah.
So it's also this. I mean, I think it just really confirms that Gonzalo Pineda has no idea what Atlanta United is good at or bad at. I mean, it is still apparent because those issues are still there for us, but he wasn't exploiting them.
Yeah.
And, ultimately it's like great for us. And, for his team, kind of similar issues. They are very suspect at the back. Seems like that's still a prevailing thing for Pineda. And yeah, I don't know, especially if, he had a ton of first team players in his side, but we know if he's missing one or two, well, it's trouble. And that's really what it is. Like, we essentially rolled out homegrowns, some Atlanta United 2 players, and we were able to blow them out. That's just, yeah. Gonzalo Pineda, unfortunately, yeah, really great guy. Probably a fraud.
Yeah, they're struggling in the standings as well in Liga MX and have been. So it's a whole rough project down there. And it was fun because at least for a while, when watching this game, I heard the commentators say things that they'd usually say about Atlanta United. So they'd say them about Atlas instead. So for once, the shoe was on the other foot. Yeah, so it was very refreshing. So, all right, with that, we're joined by Nick, fresh off of Marta/Lyft. How you doing? How was the game? How are you feeling? Finally have a win to talk about. Yeah. Planes, trains, automobiles.
Well, that was a surreal experience, wasn't it? It's weird I say that after we win a meaningless game, because it is surreal. It feels surreal to actually see a performance out on the pitch tonight that counts for something in the hearts of fans, if not in the standings, because it's a rubber match, I mean. But to see them play with determination, grit, heart, whatever, and not be afraid of getting a few of these, God, I lost count. How many players got cards tonight that don't carry over? They don't matter in accumulation or anything. But
They don't at all. They don't at all. Nick, you should turn your gain up a little bit. I think, yeah.
Yep.
It's a little soft. There we go.
Yes, is that better?
Yeah.
That's way better. Perfect.
But
yeah, it's a dead rubber for sure. And yeah, as far as Meaningless goes, this was as meaningless as they come. But we finally get a Leagues Cup win, and
yes, that
just,
monkey is off our back.
Right.
Finally,
and it's hilarious. But yeah, it takes. I don't even know how many games. I've stopped counting because I frankly just don't care. But it's up to probably 10 or so, and yeah, I mean, it's just slightly embarrassing that it took this long.
Against Atlas of all teams, so I mean, just like the worst of the worst. So.
Right, and so I'm sure, like, Liga MX fans are clowning on Atlas and Gonzalo Pineda, but
if they can take 2 seconds away from clowning on America and the doldrums they're in currently, so.
Yeah, probably, but I mean, losing to this Atlanta United side.
I know, losing to 2025 Atlanta United, that's bad for anyone.
Right, but either way, Nick, like, how'd you find the atmosphere? I mean, I think it was like a little bit tough to like muster up the people in there because I mean, I was trying from my section, but woo!
We were surprisingly spry down in the bottom of the supporter section. I found it actually fun, because the true diehards were the ones that showed up. The ones that know their chants. We even pulled an old chant we hadn't done in like a year out. ATL We Are Here. But that was appropriate for this because there were Atlas fans there. I did see Atlas kits.
Mm-hmm.
The fear was, were they going to outnumber us in the stadium? That didn't happen. I did not see that, which was a plus, mind you.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was after they scored, it was a pretty loud roar, and so there probably are a little bit of a mix of both Atlas and LA United fans, probably. So Atlas fans had something to cheer about, perhaps. But yeah, I think as well because they were on the other side. Atlas fans on the opposite of the supporter section, and they were kind of trying to make some noise, but obviously we have drums, and so it's like, yes, fully able to drown
That's
it out.
why we pulled out that chant. That's exactly why we pulled out that chant.
I mean, to them also it's probably a meaningless game, so they didn't send everyone in numbers. It was just probably the locals and the diehards that showed up, because of course wherever you are in the South of the United States, you're going to have local Liga MX fans in that area. So that's just something you have to know about. So just to fill you in, Nick, it was 5 yellow cards on Atlanta United and 4 on Atlas.
How many of them were in the second half, though?
Yeah, so the first half saw yellow cards 2, 1 for a handball in the 37th minute on Atlas, and then a 1 literally the same minute for argument about that handball. So 2 yellows displayed there. And then on that same minute on our side, Luke Brennan got a yellow. That was the first half. Second half is where they all started flying. 51-minute yellow card between Aguirre and Ronald Hernandez. Both got yellow cards. Uros Dudervik, 51-minute yellow card. Brooks Lennon got a foul, 59th minute. Jaden Hibbert got a yellow card for argument at the 65th minute. And
what was he arguing?
I
That's what
don't
I was
know.
trying to figure out.
I think it was that she basically gave a corner because he took too long. I think that's what it was. And
the new law.
Right, exactly. And with that, it's like, I mean, it's a little stringent, I feel like, especially on a meaningless game. Like, I mean, calm down.
Yeah,
Just like
right. And lastly,
it's okay.
Riley got a foul in the 70th minute, so that was all the cards.
So
What do we
all
all
right.
think? What do we all think of this man right here as the captain tonight?
He did a great job. The weight of the armband didn't weigh him down. I think he wore it strongly, and he did well. In terms of, let me see if I can find this. Let me see, what is his rating on? So SofaScore had him at a 7.1, but I think he did better than that. Our highest ratings were obviously 8.3, Saba Lobjanidze, Jaden Haber 8.3, and then Moranchuk at an 8.0.
Right. I think it's like he didn't contribute a goal or an assist, so of course it's not going to be as high as those that have. But yeah, he kept it ticking. He I think tidy as well. Really just cleaned up in front of the defense and made sure that large in part the middle of the pitch wasn't penetrated very easily like it usually is. So yeah, it could also be that Atlas is just rudderless. So
Shit.
yep, part of it probably, but you still have to perform. You still have to do that. So it's it does go both ways. But yeah. Did you have a man of the match, Nick?
Well, they gave the Golden Spike of Excellence to Saba, and I don't disagree with that. He had an amazing match. I mean, he came up with one of the 4 goals, and was just he looked beautiful on the right side. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. That's where he plays best, is on the right side. Why he's not over there all the time, I don't know.
Because Miggy also, Miggy floats in all the areas. But, unfortunately, we know Miggy hasn't been ultra effective in every aspect this season. But, I mean, I think we see there is that, like, old Saba that returns when he's on the right. But did you have a favorite goal?
The Tagashi goal. That was a banger.
Yeah.
And the icing on the cake for us,
And really far out for a header, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to put it in the corner pretty much. I mean, it's just like pretty unstoppable for a corner. And he started the play. Like that through ball, and then he was able to find, I forget who was in the middle there. I think maybe it was Schleich. And then he was able to find Cisak. So, yeah, I mean, beauty of a ball, beauty of a header. I mean, those are the type of crosses, early crosses, not from the byline when the whole defense is in the box. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, and there was that other attempt where he went flying into the net trying to get his head on that ball. Like, that was a really, really good sign of good instincts in terms of movement and positioning, where I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that for a while. So it was really refreshing to see that.
For sure.
It
was like
got the
this,
assist on the goal, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And Togashi, it's like he kind of was a focal point when he came on. Like everybody was trying to find him essentially, or he was, directing pretty much where the ball should go, where he wanted the ball. That's exactly what you want from your striker. That's how you get your striker involved. And I mean, he deserved that goal because he was working hard. He got involved in the play. Had to come short when, sometimes he wanted to get involved and ran in behind. I mean, kind of a complete striker performance. He popped up on the right at times when necessary. The ball went over to that side and kept the play going. And I mean, I think there were some people that were crapping on Togashi. I don't get it.
Neither do I.
Like his appearances when he's been in have been very productive, very positive, and it seems like he knows exactly what he needs to do when he's on the pitch. I mean, evident on that FC Cincy game where, Barry heads up, quick throw in, able to get Saba involved, and then I believe it was the own goal after that. So it's just like,
that's
yeah,
right.
and he's been carrying the twos too. I mean, the guys give him a chance, and we gave him a chance, and look what he did. So That's exciting to see. Can you guys tell me what who the lowest rated player according to SofaScore was for us tonight? Could you guess?
For where? Okay, the one. Okay, did they play the majority of the match?
They played half of the match.
Oh, shit, I was gonna say
I
Lennon.
feel like that's unfair.
So I want to.
60, then I'd be like, okay, this is a
So I don't know if I
Yeah.
even agree with it, but Tristan Muyumba came in with the lowest rating today.
Well, I mean, yeah, he played what, like 20
Came
minutes
in at
maybe?
halftime.
He
He
came
was
in at
at
half.
46
He was for
sub.
45
Oh,
minutes.
okay. Was 45? Well,
Yeah.
still, I mean, yeah, because he was playing out of position. He was playing pretty much in Alexei Miranchuk's.
Yep. Yeah, he came
So-
out from Rancho. Interestingly enough, too, I thought Inea Mihaj only had a 6.2. I don't think, according to that, he didn't have a
Mihai.
great game. Mihai, yeah. And I only saw like a couple of moments of him where there was one moment that was a little shaky. But for the most part, I didn't notice anything that merits a score like that. And good old Brooks Lennon managed to get a 6.4. I remember with that early shot where he tried to get it on target, but he couldn't. Thought he'd be trying to silence the doubters and the haters. Unfortunately, it did not come to fruition. So, you have to wait another week.
I don't think left back is his future position, but he did okay in some senses defensively, but pretty much just no as from the attacking standpoint, because I think he did try to cross with his left and they were okay, but obviously it's like it's not his strong suit to play on his left foot. So yeah, I think he was energy. He was someone that can basically spell Amador when he's I don't know how long Amador is going to be out, but yeah, I think I shudder in the league because he will be targeted.
Lennon
He
has
will
been
be.
a liability. Nick, any final thoughts on the game?
Well, it was the complete performance I've been looking for these many weeks. I'm satisfied. I was entertained. I had fun. I mean, that's what you want. Albeit a crowd of about 10,000 people, even though the announced attendance was 22 plus. No,
But
No.
It always looks a little worse too because it's all spread out and it's really like it's hard to tell a little bit at times because there's also the people in the those box seats as well, and, the floor.
Nick, someone in the chat.
I have to give this to the front office real quick. Sorry, you're wrong. It's not 22,000.
Connie in the chat wanted to know, last question, is there a trans-inclusive supporters group? And I think...
Is there?
Is there, yeah. Go ahead, Nick. You can talk about, get on the stump for All Stripes for a moment.
I am on the board of All Stripes, the LGBTQ plus supporter group, officially recognized by the team of Atlanta United. If you go to allstripesatl.com, it'll take you to our chant page, and you can get a membership for $35. You get a membership kit, including a scarf. You get access to tickets. You can come wave our flag in the supporter section, a whole 9 yards. And you can come see us at the next tailgate at the next home match, Lot 17 against Toronto, 2 p.m. No, that's not correct. It's a 4 o'clock kick. We'll start tailgating like 1 or 1:30 on that day. So allstripesatl.com. Come and join us, and you'll love it. But we are very much trans inclusive, and we're awesome.
Yeah, can confirm with that. Thanks, Nick. So we will see you later, and hopefully we will be able to talk about another win in the near future. Who knows if it'll happen, but we'll see.
But we have a watch party Saturday night at Jolene at Brick and Mortar Pullman Yards.
Okay.
For the Montreal game. So come join us there.
Little Dolly shout out. Have a good rest of your night, man.
Good night, everyone.
See
Bye.
ya. All right, so let's get to some of these comments. Not too many of them tonight, so that's manageable. Hi Bye says, real ATL, please stand up. A set piece goal? Gavin Marshall says, no chance the attendance was above 20,000. M. Level 10 says, glorified scrimmage, but feels so good to see our guys get a win. Joshua says, they win finally. Gavin says, giant sports cards, that's right. Nick, the ATL says, announced attendance 22,000. Nope, not buying it. Connie says, we win a game. Lightning says, music needs to come down a tad. Or AJ needs to be turned up. Wow, that's never heard someone ask for more AJ, but I will give it to you. Don't worry. Connie says,
There you go. How is this? Better? Louder? Crisper?
it's about the same, I'd say. But I can turn you up, though. So no problem.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And I turned the music down earlier because it was too loud. I figured that out on my own. I didn't need someone telling me, Drew. Anyway, we'll be talking to him in a few minutes anyway.
Good. It's good he's telling you.
I know. I'm kidding. Just teasing him. Connie says, if all games are meaningless, we win all of them. So then we can win out the season. Yeah, maybe we should just start to tell that was one of the questions at the press conference. Do you think the team, when they felt like they had less pressure because the game was meaningless, they played better? And the guy's like, nah, I don't think that's the case. But maybe it was.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, like that's a very PC answer, but let's be real. Like, the rest of the games are pretty much meaningless.
Yeah, and we know that this team is very mentally, they get fragile, and so because of that, when you take the pressure off, you expect better performance, and lo and behold, what did we get? It's kind of interesting. It's almost a confirmation of the theory, right? So Strong says, how long has it been? I think it's been 10 game winless streak we were on right now. So we
over 2 months.
Yeah, so we snapped that, which is good. Joshua says, Atlanta United finally won once again. Kyle Apgar says, Coach Ronnie on the sidelines and we win big. Interesting how that works, just saying. Or not on the sidelines, yes. It is an interesting coincidence. That is kind of the talking point a lot of people are running with right now. See it on social media. Like, what a coincidence, right? Well, who knows? Who knows what that actually, if that had an effect. I tend to think it didn't. Connie says, we already went over that one. Ingest 100 says, wow, we will now sell number 20 jerseys. Who would have thought? Yep, so caught up with the chat. Keep them coming, guys, while we get to our next guest.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ronnie thing, it's like I highly doubt that Kenny Miller had autonomy in choosing everything. Maybe a few things here and there, but obviously, because the communication-wise from Dyla to the coaching staff isn't allowed. But
whoop, AJ, you there? He just looks like he had a stroke on the street. All right, well, hopefully he revives himself. Oh, there he goes. He's back. Okay.
He's in here.
All right, so what were you saying?
But yeah, no. I mean, that was really it. So, I mean, was it me that was frozen? Or was
yes, it was you.
Oh, it was me. Oh, okay. Well, so what I was saying is basically that it very much doesn't seem like, Kenny Miller is probably, just full autonomy. There's always some guy on the coaching staff with an earpiece in. And yeah, while it wasn't probably allowed, there's some person speaking to Dylo, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just the guy with the earpiece is like, yes, that's right. You heard me right. They scored 4. And Ronnie's like, what? They did what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like he was like out of the building. Like he's probably in the the office with not the office, but the
he's in a suite. He's in a suite somewhere.
Yeah, with Arthur Blank somewhere, and so I'm sure it was. Well, I doubt that Arthur Blank was here.
Yeah.
I have a very strong inkling that he was not watching tonight. But
yeah. And Ronnie was not getting radio transmissions from a locked, solitary confinement box somewhere deep inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which would be a funny visual, but no, that's not what's happening. All right, so Drew, welcome in.
Oh, we gotta win. The beard is shaved.
Mm-hmm. The opposite of the playoff beard, yep.
Yeah. At least something went right today, because I am stuck in the house for the next 3 to 5 days with COVID.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
How's it hitting you? Is it hard or just like annoying?
Annoying. That's it. It's not bad at all for me right now. So.
Hopefully it stays that
Well,
way.
at least you got some new cards, probably some gaming that you can probably do. So
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's just it'll suck for your wife, but that's probably it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been banished up here.
Yeah. I mean, looks like you have a lot of things you could do though. So.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So how'd you find this game?
It was amazing to see from kind of the jump that we actually started taking advantage of our opportunities. And even when we didn't have possession, we stayed very organized and kind of limited Atlas's chances there, which is something that we've been looking for a lot this season. The fact that we were able to stay compact defensively and kind of just keep them to the outside, and then once we regained possession, we were able to use that possession to actually convert into chances into goals this game, which was great to see. Our first half was amazing to see, able to kind of put away every clear-cut chance we had, which is fantastic to see, especially since we've been really snake-bitten this year.
Yeah, so just to put a fine point on that, it's interesting looking at the stats in this game. So they had the possession battle won at 53%, and they had 16 to our 9 shots, and we had 9 goalkeeper saves. They had 0. And this also goes back to what they said in the press conference, that the difference between a game like this and previous games is we took our chances, and that changes games. And I don't know how to explain it except for maybe Atlas's defense is just more porous and allowed for just higher quality chances that we were able to be not, harried as bad in order to put them in. Whereas before we were just kind of assaulted with good defense. But I don't know. Yeah. Take that and run with it, Drew. I don't know how to explain for the most part.
The one thing that we did, especially defensively, is we kept all their chances out wide. They didn't really have any clear-cut chances, and that's something we haven't done this year at all. The fact that we were able to kind of limit their chances. Yeah, they had a bunch of shots, but almost all of them were little dribblers into Hibbert.
Yeah.
He's just able to collect it easily and go on from there. And if we can kind of solidify that and keep teams to the outside like that, it creates a lot more opportunity for us to convert. We aren't having to worry about being on the back foot all game and kind of worried about these high danger chances. We're able to, when we have our chances, we can go and not worry that we have to be defensive. We have to make sure we're covering back and doing all this because we know we're solid back there. And you could see it. You could see it in some of the players like Luke Brennan and Morenchuk. They were feeling it in that first half. They were starting to they had a really good interchange, and especially with Morenchuk and Brennan down that side. They were able to, especially on that goal, that was a beautiful interchange between the two of them to be able to set each other up for that goal. And great finish by Morenchuk too. That is a top-class finish. And
on his right as well.
Exactly. And then even with Saba is able to kind of get connection with Morenchuk, and he's starting to have a lot more success when he has the space to operate down his favored side. And you could see him be a threat all game.
Yeah, it's that attacking position that he keeps himself in when he's on the right. The defense that he faces basically are backpedaling. They don't know what he's going to do because he offers, I think, a lot more dynamism from the right, oddly enough, being just a more traditional winger when he's there. But he is more of a goal threat from that side as well, because he can hit it from his left too, and so he will test the keeper. I mean, yeah, it wasn't maybe the strongest shot. They kind of reminded you of the shots that were shot at Hibbert, but I think it's also this. It's Hibbert. He did go down really well for that shot that was to his right when, in the first half, there was, I mean, that was probably their most dangerous attack, their most dangerous chance, and he was able to, smother that ball, and not kind of create another chance because he parried it. He actually got both hands on it, and I think it's really gonna be the grand question. It's a pretty much meaningless game, but did you see enough from Hibbert to say that, hey, he might need to get a lot more looks in the rest of the season?
To unseat Guzan for the remainder of the season, Drew.
I don't know about the remainder of the season, but it's definitely give him one more game. And give him one more game until he proves otherwise. And again, he is a lot younger. The one thing that we've kind of seen this from Guzan these past couple of years is that mobility and getting down on tough chances like that. He's lost a lot of that side to side movement and that push off to get low. And to see Hibbert make that sort of save, it showed me how much we kind of don't notice it as much just because we're so used to that sort of goal going in from Guzan. Mm-hmm. That we need to start seeing what we have, and that is the biggest thing. We probably aren't making the playoffs this year. It is going to be a miracle if we do.
Yeah,
why not give the kid a chance?
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny you say that. It's like I just saw people on social media and other things. They're just like, so what are the chances we make the playoffs now? Like it's almost if you get one win against Atlas, and then people are talking about like, is there a chance that we can actually be good? Like, we looked really good this game. And it's like, okay, before everyone overreacts, let me pull up something that I noticed looking at some of the statistics as well from this game. Like, if you look at the momentum chart from this game, they had the momentum way more than we did. Now, what I've noticed in particular is starting in the second half, they pushed it hard against us. And we had very little momentum starting the second half for like almost like a quarter of the entire second half. That is typically when other teams hurt us. That pattern of coming out cold still apparently was here. It's just Atlas wasn't good enough to make anything from it. A lot of what Atlas did here in terms of their statistics, if they were a good team, they would have scored a lot more, I suspect. Now, we obviously scored 4, which, regardless of how many their team scores, that still makes you fairly competitive. But I don't know how good and bad their defense is, and if we just tore them to pieces or what have you. But on defense, at least, I think a lot of our defensive woes are still there, and a better team will easily exploit that like they have been doing all season long. So I don't want people to get too excited from what they saw from a game against a Atlas in the doldrums of Liga MX. This is not exactly a trophy or a something you want to put up on your wall after beating Atlas.
Yeah, it's progress. It's not something that you can claim as a scalp or anything, because like it doesn't matter. Like, it really did seem like it was one team probably cared a lot more, and maybe the other side, they're maybe going through some motions a little bit, and I think that's really what it seemed like, was that they got into these moments, Atlas, but then they just didn't have any conviction in their shots. I mean, very much it was just, like I think you were saying earlier, dribbled type of shots very weak stuff that I think ultimately it's like, when you have 16 shots, when you give up that many shots, usually it doesn't end well.
Yeah, and 10 of them were in the box.
Exactly. You want to give up less than 10 normally in order to usually have a clean sheet for one. And yeah, that's 16 is usually, it's like, I don't know what the XG was, but it probably could have been 2 or 3 if they were actually good shots, if they were actually struck well. But yeah, it just didn't happen.
I do feel like there is some things that we can take from this game that we need to start doing going forward, and that one of them being Saba on the right. We need to keep him there. I know we have Miggy, but we've seen it enough to know that Saba is really effective on that side, and he is a game changer for this team when he is firing on all cylinders. And I think it's enough to kind of either put Miggy on the left or put him on the bench at this point and have Miggy become more of a impact guy at this point, especially when we are trying to get ready and kind of see what we have going into next season. Yeah. I also think Sesuk, I want to take a look at him some more. I want to see what he can do against better opponents. And if we have something in him and we can keep seeing that consistently, there's no room for Brooks Lennon anymore then. That's our upcoming guy right there.
Yeah.
I mean, very small sample size, but I mean, I think the defensive aspect of it, he seemed a lot more stout, a lot more motivated to pretty much prevent chances from really even happening. And yeah, I mean, it's like those duels, those one-on-ones that, basically going after a loose ball. I mean, he was completely going after it. And yeah, it's pretty clean delivery. And so, yeah, maybe you want to see him against a better opposition for sure. But yeah, I mean, I agree. There's some promise, but there also is this. It's if we can find an established guy that can play in MLS, whether they're already in MLS or not, I think that's probably the best play. But as far as a backup goes, replacing maybe Ronald Hernandez, I think there's some ability there, and definitely younger, more spry, and I think we've seen defensively already just a lot more security than Hernandez, unfortunately. But go ahead.
The guy had 93%. Sesek had 93% accurate passes today. That's very good. That's very good. Couple that with the assist that he had. 90 minutes played. Overall, great performance. Very good. So yeah, I agree with Drew. Want to see more, and we'll kind of keep that position for a lot of these younger players. Want to see more until kind of like how you also said, like once one of them drops the ball, you switch back, revert back to the more stalwart, the more traditional player we have in that position. But yeah, give him the chance. Why not? Like you said, a lot of these games going forward, if we're just completely out of the playoffs at a certain point, just run it like that. If these guys are going to be future, if these guys are going to, need minutes to progress to be effectual in the future, why not get them now? So that makes sense to me.
I think that's the thing too, though, is that there probably is still a little bit of holding out on hope that we can make the playoffs, probably from the front office, from dial-up. So they're trying to they can't just punt the season, like as far as that goes. Even though the fans probably were just like, yeah, just play the kids. Let's see what we got, and let's just play for next season. But I think
we have 4 wins. Like, how can we be literally really thinking about the playoffs. But I mean, I get what you're saying. You're not mathematically
That's-
eliminated yet, so you gotta go. But
Until we are, that's probably not going to happen. And when we are, then okay.
yeah,
But Drew, what was your favorite goal from that match?
that's a great question to have to ask finally.
I was
know,
going
right?
to say the Marinchuk goal. The Marinchuk goal is just, from start to finish, is fabulous because the little interchange with Marinchuk starting the play, making that pass to Brennan, and Brennan finding a space and making that perfectly weighted pass into Marinchuk, and the finish is silky smooth, and that is something we have just dearly missed all season long, is that sort of goal, that nice little interchange that we kind of expected this team to kind of have.
Yes, exactly.
And to finally see a goal like that come out was chef's kiss.
Yeah, just with different players. Yeah, not expecting it from Brennan, but yeah, Brennan not scoring, but he is assisting a good bit from that left side, combining well, and yeah, like you're saying, like very well weighted passes that are in the box, essentially setting it up on a plate for a right-footed finish from Maranchuk. Like yes, he's scored a couple of them this year, with his right foot. But yeah, this was, I think you were saying this as well, like instinctual. This was, yeah, it's like that's what you want to see from Maranchuk, because I think we've seen him in his head a lot too much.
Yeah.
And
He's been scoring a lot lately, so I think he's getting out of the head. So I think he's finally solidifying a bit and getting more confidence. So hopefully we can see that going forward, and it brings out some of the other players from their shells as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
So, who was your man of the match?
I'm gonna
This
give
a
it
great
to...
problem.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I have 3 in my head. I'm gonna give it to Luke Brennan. Luke Brennan has been kind of a monster as soon as he's started to get the starting minutes here. He has been a difference maker down that side. And again, he puts in a great performance. He maybe doesn't get the goal, but he was dangerous every time he was on the ball. And that is something we really can't say from many of the players on this team, is that every time he touches the ball, you feel like something can be made from whatever he does. And that's really good to see. And it's especially going forward with him, he's starting to mature, he's starting to get the minutes. If he can get that end product, that finish, he will be a very good player for this team.
Yeah, I mean, the guy had 87% accurate passes out of 15. He had 2 crosses, 0 were accurate, unfortunately. None of his long balls were accurate, unfortunately, but he created 1 big chance, obviously, as an assist. He had 1 of his shots blocked. He had 3 out of 6 dribble attempted that were successful. 5 out of 10 ground duels won. And he lost possession 13 times, which can be looked at as a negative stat, but I also see it as him trying things and pushing it. I mean, it's good to, in my estimation, lose possession when you're so far down in the attacking third. It's not the worst thing in the world to lose it, because you're pushing and you're trying to make something happen, and clearly it did with Maranchuk at a certain point. So and it comes down to me seeing the one-touch passing, the interplay that you're talking about with these players, but we don't. If we do see the one-touch passing in this season so far with the other players, it's been overweighted, underweighted, inaccurate. They haven't been on the same page. They aren't envisioning where the player is going. But Luke is able to, or Maranchuk is able to, or at least he's maybe bringing himself away from playing on a team like Atlanta and figuring out how to better play on a team like Atlanta. And that's helping a lot, being able to know where maybe a player like Luke Brennan is going to put that ball versus, like a high quality winger on Atlanta or something like that will put the ball, I think is a very big thing. And he's finally starting to figure that out, hopefully. There's other players. I still think Mickey thinks he's playing in the Premier League. And he's like anticipating players to be in places that they just aren't there. and ELL to some degree as well. So hopefully they can kind of figure that out. Like Maranchuk, hopefully is what seems like is starting to get there. I mean, like, what is it? 4 goals in the past like 4 or 5 games he's had.
I think it's 4 and 6.
4 and 6,
Yeah,
yeah. Like he's really been cooking, so it's looking good.
Yeah, Drew, you're about to say something. When
I was gonna say with the turnovers and stuff like that, that's kind of where you kind of have to break it down into like a deeper stats and see where he's losing the ball. Because if you're losing the ball in their final third, it's kind of a okay, you tried something, that's fine. If you're losing it in the midfield or you're losing it in your half, yeah, that's kind of not good. But it's where you have to kind of break that down a little bit more.
Exactly.
I think that's the difference between him and, say, Mosquera, because yes, there's not a lot of security pretty much when Mosquera has the ball. Yeah, drink, and it's very much that where defensively too. I think you feel solid with Brennan, and he's winning his duels. Maybe not every single duel, but yeah, he's definitely I think pretty stout defensively, pretty big guy for a winger as well, and so headers as well. Not really too concerned. He's out there winning some of those, and so pace wise as well. I mean, yeah, like he has the tools to be able to be a really good winger in MLS. So yeah, it's just really about putting it together, being consistent, and yeah, there's a lot of potential there, and it really puts the grand question for Miggy, for ELL, where are these guys gonna be? Because yes, this was a definitely depressed side. Maybe it's not the best word, but this was not the best side that we could have faced. But I think some of the understudies showed a lot that are asking questions of the DPs.
Mm-hmm.
But
and at the very least, it should motivate them, right? Motivate the DPs to do better or to figure things out quicker. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that these players are like Luke Brennan is like being able to play better than like Miguel Almiron or something. I'm just saying that they're figuring out how to play together better. And I think Miggy needs to figure that out. So does ELL. So does some of the other players as well. Because I just think that that's part of the thing that they've just never got to get is the piece that's missing. I mean, that's why we have such an expensive roster, yet we can't score goals because no one is on the same page. We said this many, many, many times this season. And Luke Brennan seems to be one of those people who can intuitively kind of figure it out. So we need more players with that kind of soccer IQ to be able to plug and play and kind of stitch things together. I mean, like he seems to offload the ball with that high accuracy of passes when he gets into trouble, so he doesn't lose it in crucial positions. And then when he does lose it, he's in the attack, and it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. So
yeah, and you can counterpress to win it back in a very advantageous position. And I think what's really interesting is that the first time we win a match in Leagues Cup, we don't have 2 DPs.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that too. There was the Ronnie Dyla not being there, and it was the Miguel Almiron not being there. Like, because
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know if it's the Latte Lath not being there. It's the Miggy not being there because of how good Saba looked.
Yeah, because Saba and Maranchuk seemed to be able to play together, and we saw a little bit of that last year. But it's unfortunately, it's a little bit of the Miggy equation here. And even though we know he works hard, we know he does put in a great shift, can put in a good ball as well. But something is just not clicking, and there's just not continuity between these players, and it's there are some tough questions being asked, some big off-season decisions.
As I say, it might be a tough question being asked for our next game. Honestly,
There was some people saying Miguel going to another MLS team, and I feel like if I see him in another MLS team's jersey, that would physically be painful.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, if anything, if Miggy moves, we should probably try to find a Brazilian team or Argentinian side that takes him. But I think, though, if there's some way, because, hey, listen, Miami's doing this. They're able to bring in all these players. Why can't we have 2 number 10s?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, like, let's put some pressure on MLS because this is the thing, when Atlanta United's good, it helps the league.
Oh yeah.
And like it's not like these optics are not helping them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like seeing that stadium look like that, like I'm sure Don Garber is like, we need to change this. Like they're gonna change the format again next year, I'm sure. Like something else, because
Oh, I think did I freeze?
I don't know. But
Oh, okay.
anyway, Drew, final thoughts.
Let's make some changes. Kind of go with more of this lineup that we
The hot
started
hand.
with today. Go with the hot hand, and let's go into Montreal and get another win.
It can be done. Montreal is booty, so if anyone can do it, I mean, if we can do it against anyone, it should be them. Hopefully, we can.
Yeah, just hopefully Efrain Morales is not super motivated.
I was gonna say incoming Efrain Morales game winner.
I mean, I'm okay if he scores 1 goal against us and then we win like 2-1. I think that's fair for all parties involved.
It still hurts. It would
Yeah,
hurt me.
Exactly. It's like, Efrain Morales, you can just score in every other game. That's fine, man. Like, just don't score against your old club. This always happens. It's
Yeah. But hey, I mean, we defied the spooky narrative of Gonzalo Pineda coming here and it's seemingly going to march all over us. We defied that, so maybe we can also defy the other storied Atlanta United tradition of having a previous player come in and score against us. So
The Pineda
because
curse was too
we're
strong.
I know, right? I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
asking. I was like, which one is more powerful, the curse over Pineda's head or the curse over Atlanta United? And it seems it has followed Pineda more so. Even though you could say though, he did technically better than the team we have now.
Yes, this is true, but that's just because, these are levels. And these levels are, of ineptitude are amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But anyway, Drew, thank you so much. As always, pleasure. Have a good rest of your nights. Was it just water, or were you drinking
Water.
Water. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
alcohol.
COVID,
He's probably on medication, so it's
Yeah, no, just water right now.
antibiotics
but you
and
had
stuff.
a round maybe whiskey
Yeah,
glass, but yeah.
wine glass. It was what I grabbed.
That's all he's allowed up there.
I know exactly. The wife is just banishing him.
Yep.
All right, Drew.
Ugh.
Take care, bud.
Good night.
I meant to.
All right, let's clean up some of the rest of these comments, which there aren't too many more, and then we'll be heading out of here soon. Let's see. Strong says Cooper Sanchez should play every game. All right, full-throated support for Cooper. Again, like we said, play the hot hand until someone drops the ball, and then you kind of move on from there. I think it's probably
But these are guys that it's like they're getting looks, but I don't think they had a really big impact on the match.
And if I remember correctly, some of these like call-up contracts are like 1 or 2 games. They're not like now Cooper's going to be here for a long time. I don't necessarily know which ones are like that. So just because we saw a guy this game doesn't necessarily mean they'll be here forever. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so we'll define that. So basically, Mazzaferro, the center back that came on, actually looked pretty all right too. Left footer, and we desperately needed him in the last match. That's for sure. like very questionable why we didn't have an extra center back, but at least they
Salvatore.
learned a lesson. Yeah, and so at least there's that, but he's on a short-term contract. Cooper Sanchez got signed as a homegrown, so yeah, now he can pretty much play
Yeah,
as
he'll
much
be back.
as we can in that sense. But you know, as far as, because I think he's on, like, he was on a twos contract, and then now he is, you know, able to play a lot more. But
Yeah.
and yeah, it's interesting. You know, Dominic Chong-Kui didn't play in this match, even though he's the natural left footer. It's definitely interesting because I think for the next match, it's going to be very kind of suspect who's going to be able to kind of play those right back minutes. Because we basically played every fullback except for Chong-Kui.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
A lot of
it's
people are
like,
clamoring for Chong-Kui.
Yeah, because I think this was perfect for Chong-Kui in that sense of, like, yeah, meaningless match, get some minutes under your belt, get that experience, you know. Yeah, that's why you bring in those players. But yeah, it was weird. Like, I didn't really need to see Lennon at left back.
I know. Yeah.
It
Especially
wasn't
you got a
question I needed.
game coming up on Saturday. Like,
Right.
why are you
Like,
not
that's-
resting more guys? So, yeah.
Exactly. That's where you use him. And then also, you know, Ronaldo Hernandez, I get it. I get it in the sense that, yeah, we don't have very many healthy match fit center backs. And he did well enough. But, you know, again, against a very weak
Yeah.
Atlas side. So it's, you know, that has to be taken in a microcosm. But
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, those guys, I think, and Seesock as well, or Seesock. But yeah, he's on a short term, but yeah, he's showing some things, and so yeah, it is that those players, I think, deserve longer looks if we can get past the short term agreement stuff. But
It can
obviously,
be tricky. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's a limited amount of those we can do per season and stuff like that. So.
Right. So I think you really want to make sure that you use them, like use the first team contracts on players that you see a long-term potential with. And yeah, I think those two players, that's why you have them. Like,
Yeah.
You use this for the in a pinch situations. And I think it's unfortunate that it came in a meaningless game, but yeah, I think maybe we should do this too. We should talk about Leagues Cup as a whole. Like, yeah, we basically last week we didn't have a 5-star weekly, and yeah, these games come in thick and fast. We didn't get to preview these games, but you know, larger part as well. Some people don't care about Leagues Cup, and I think you see like there's a kind of muted type of thing where less people are tuning in. So there is that, but Leagues Cup, yeah, has just historically for Atlanta United been a nothing tournament that we just can't get past.
Oh,
And
yeah.
again, we can't get past. Like, it's sad. It's really, like, again, it came in a completely dead rubber that we were finally able to get the monkey off the back. Like, it's like that's just like, if that doesn't tell you kind of the like how LA United is, at least mentally, it's like we said, incredibly fragile. And I mean, it's just like for pretty much a bunch of coaches, like, can't figure it out, can't
Yeah.
figure out Leagues Cup. And I think, yeah, the people that are very much Ronnie Dyla out, I mean, I get it. We could probably find a better coach, but at this moment, is the instability worth it?
I'm not sure.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not sure, yeah. It's just like, it's at this point, you kind of want to see what Dyla can do with his players. players that he wants, because he has at least a pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
Pineda doesn't really have a pedigree.
Nope.
You know, so and he got a very long leash. So to pretty much give Dyla, yes, in a season where it's epically bad, just the shortest leash that we've given any coach. Because let's look at it. I mean, it's like, Frank de Boer, he got a year and a half.
Yeah.
Gonzalo Pineda got what?
Way too long.
Like almost 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy long.
Yeah, and Tata Martino left on his own accord. Rob Valentino, Stephen Glass were the interims, so yeah, they had a lot more to prove in some senses.
And Arsenal assistant coach Heinze was fired.
Yeah, exactly. But that was for extenuating circumstances. But what was hilarious is like today, because there was a friendly, and they just there was a prolonged shot of Gabriel Heinze on the bench drinking water, and I was like, man, isn't that ironic?
What a hypocrite.
Like, oh man, you can drink all the water you want, but when it comes to your players at Atlanta United, nah. But I think that was overblown a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it was more about how he was treating everybody.
Yeah.
And that is important too. Like Dyla seems to be, a pretty model citizen. So, I think there's something pretty different in that regard, even though, yes, there's been 3 different managers that have gone through pretty much 2-month or more spells that they were not winning.
I know.
Like, is it really the coach's fault?
Yeah.
At that point?
And also, just, you sparked something in my mind about, like, is going back a little bit, is, you said no, coaches have just not been able to figure out Leagues Cup. I mean, it reminds me of a comment that Henry Higuita, I playfully like to say he got chewed out by Ronnie Dyla in a press conference for asking him this. That he's just like, is it something about high press teams that, what are we going to do about that? They seem to give your team problems. And he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean high press teams being difficult? And it's just like, okay, traditionally high press teams have always been hard for Atlanta United. It's not new. Everyone knows this. With obviously Red Bull being the poster boy for this. And what do Liga MX teams do a lot of times? They press the living hell out of you. And so when they come into Leagues Cup, what do you know? We get floored by teams that are pressing the hell out of you. So Henry is absolutely right to ask that question. And there needs to be a response to that, because it seems like a lot of the coaches are not able to handle A, high presses in MLS, and B, high presses from Liga MX either.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. I think the context I think is important, because Henry Higuita is a little bit younger, presents younger too. We love him, but yeah, Ronnie Dyla, he's gonna look at him and he's gonna be like, this kid is gonna ask me this question. Like,
it's like, wait, Miguel has played the 10? Are you sure? Is that another one?
Right, exactly. It's I think it's that he's got to earn the respect of Dyla, and it's fair or not, like, it's part of it. It's like, yeah, he doesn't look maybe the part yet, unfortunately, even though great writer, great journalist, but yeah, I think part of it is that too. Like, coaches, they've been in the game a long time, and when they see a younger kid, it's tough. Like, with anybody, you're gonna have, when you face the media, essentially, like, yes, it comes with a bit of a respect thing, and you have to earn it. Unfortunately, it's just, so I think while he was right, because it's also this Gonzalo Pineda's side, Atlas, didn't press very well.
No.
And I think that's part of it, is that like that bleeds over from his time with us. Like we pressed very ineffectively. And like it essentially a lot of times tired out Yakumakis. You know, because he was relentless, but he also, I mean, it wasn't a coordinated press. It wasn't like smart triggers.
He was tracking back forever too. So he was exhausted.
Yeah, and it essentially, and we didn't really have a good backup for him either. And so, it was just like, you know, that I think no doubt part of the reason why Yakumakis left, he just increasingly got more frustrated.
Yeah.
And, you know, wasn't scoring at the end. So he, I mean, you know, there's the whole thing with Yakumakis that maybe we won't get into. That's for another time. But
we got our hands into too many pies tonight.
But ultimately, it's like, you know, I think you see like what's wrong with Pineda's tactics, with his coaching. You know, it's maybe not a super talented Atlas side, but I mean, Atlanta United not that talented right now as far as you know, execution and production, but somehow we were able to put up this lopsided scoreline. Tells you a lot.
It really does. And also, Henry, if you're watching, AJ's advice to you is to wear a suit and a tie next time, so you can be taken.
Wear a fake beard, you know, like draw some, you know, like age lines on yourself, you know, and just talk a lot lower. And
it was like a voice emulator or something like that.
Exactly. Just talk through the Scream app. That'll work. It might terrify everybody, but you know, hey, they'll respect you.
Yes. It's this is turned into like, you know, Unk corner, old man AJ and Mike corner, talking about this stuff. So, just as we make fun of and poke fun of younger guys, everyone can poke fun and make fun of us for being old. So, it works both ways. All right, everyone, that's pretty much it. Let me just take a look at the chat, see if there's anything else going on in there. Thanks for hanging out. It's almost midnight tonight. There's a few more comments. Connie says, also, should we can Guzan? Kyle Apgar says, we just sacked AJ because I think it has to do with your internet going out. Nick says AJ and his internet again. Joshua says, Way should last Atlanta United goose out on the bench, bring Hibbert goalie. I'm going to take that to mean we should put Guzan on the bench and have Hibberty Bibberty be the goalie. That's what I called him in the Discord today. Hibberty Bibberty. A1 Products some more says, were we that good or were they that bad? The answer is yes, I think, in this game.
Yeah, both answers yes. And you're sounding like what's his name from Family Guy?
I am? What guy?
Yeah. Hibberty Bibberty. You know, come on. Giggity.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because I was in my mind when I said it first, I was thinking of like the Liberty Mutual commercial. Like Liberty Bibberty. Yeah. But yes, I haven't watched Family Guy in like maybe close to like a decade at this point.
Never seen a full episode of Family Guy. But
I mean, I liked it a lot. I did enjoy Family Guy when I watched it a long time ago, but I mean, honestly, I could probably go back and rewatch it, and, you know. But yeah, it's just been forever. I even forget, Glenn Quagmire. That's right. I almost forgot his name. Kenneth Slavic, by the way, new patron at the highest tier. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for doing that. So yeah, he says Hibbert should be in the net. Old man too slow. Guzan was a great mentor for Hibbert. It is time to retire. Give the young blood some more experience. And Nick in the ATL says, in the end, this was a win. That's all it was. Let's not go crazy. It was just a win. And Brian Cordova says, Morales will get his goal against us. It is inevitable. And Joshua also says, Ronnie, need to go because Atlanta United win tonight. I'm going to take that to mean maybe Ronnie needs to be not on the sidelines to continue this coincidence of winning when he's not around. And lastly, and like I said, get your comments in because we're going to be heading out here in a minute. Omar says, fun game at the Benz tonight. Sadly, most people weren't there to witness it. Yeah, because most people probably thought it wasn't going to be a fun game at the Benz tonight. I was one of them. I thought we were going to probably lose this game. But again, like I said in the beginning, I underestimated how bad Atlas was. I just thought a low-tier, struggling Liga MX side is still better than most, bottom table MLS teams. But maybe that's just not the case anymore. So, yeah.
At least when it comes when Gonzalo Pineda is involved.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I wonder if there was just the extra sauce of this game had just anything to do with it. I mean, just there's three ingredients to the extra sauce: Gonzalo's being here, Ronnie not being on the pitch, and Miguel Almiron not being on the pitch. And I guess you could say a fourth one of a lot of homegrown and twos players. And all of these, there's so many variables introduced into this game that it's hard to just be like, this is the one that did a thing. So.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint, and I think, there might need to be where, okay, you play similar, players on Saturday so that you can maybe suss out, okay, well, what is working, what is not working, and don't bring in the guys, that's, are the first choice, essentially. At this point, you kind of have to see what does work together. Mm-hmm. And in that, it's like, okay, well, hot hand, like we were saying, and let these guys gel and see if, against tougher opposition, you can, do that. Against, so against CF Montreal, in the next match, really make it a meritocracy. And so at that point, I think you can really see for next season who really needs to be able to get the next contract, stay, or needs to be moved on.
Yeah, I mean, reminds me a little bit of the Ronnie Dyla white T-shirt in the beginning of the season. It's like, was that the reason?
Exactly.
So yeah.
I know. Obviously, that was a joke more so, but at this point, we were. It's like the highly, what's the word? Basically, a lot of baseball players, they are very superstitious. That's the word. And, it's like every little, if Nomar Garciaparra, showing my age a little bit, but every little tick, he had 18 ticks before he could actually swing the bat. Mm-hmm. But it became a thing because it's like you don't know what is the thing that makes you successful.
Right. Exactly.
And it's like here, there's a bit of it where it's like, okay, well, what is the thing that actually makes us successful? And if we knew, if the front office knew, if Ronnie Dyla knew, then we would have a wholly different season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I think, just last thing I'll say about this is, on the whole, I think Garth Lagerwey, when he was, fully in charge of everything, and I don't know what degree he still is, but Chris Henderson and Garth, I think, are very smart guys, and I think they were going through the process of sussing out what the ailments of this club are. And I believe they've figured it out. And we'll start to see marked improvements next season. And if not, then they still clearly have not figured it out, and they need to do more soul searching. But yeah, I honestly do think they've basically pulled every lever they can at this point. And so, when you've eliminated every other explanation, the only one that remains can only be the solution, and that's the core elements of this team. Not the DPs, not the coach, not anything else about this team. It's the core group of players that are here. We need to move on from, because they are the reason that was holding the team back. And I think that is the most expensive answer. So it was the one they least wanted to be the case, and tried to go through the cheaper options first, as any good CEO would probably do, and hoping those would fix things. But yeah, it turns out that wasn't the case, and at least I believe that That's what they think, and that we'll see once Chris does that. What people are saying is the whole wholesale clean out of the team, and brings in these new players, Ronnie Dyla acolytes, hopefully, with at least we know one of them are at this point. And with Chris Henderson doing it, I think we'll see a lot more productivity on the field, a lot better product next season. So, that's what I'll end on that.
Yeah, I think there is one more question mark for me, at least in the front office, and that is Jonathan Spector. Not to target him, but it is a question. Is he a guy that can actually bring us the players that we need? Because he's the head of scouting, if I recall his exact title. And, for a guy that pretty much was hired under Broca without real experience in that regard, I question him. Because it's part of it. It's part of the equation. And so, is he one of the factors that has led to where we are? And hopefully he can find a success. I'm rooting for everybody that's working for the team, but yeah, I mean, we have to assess all of those. Like, I think that is still a lever that we don't know.
That's true. That is true. Hopefully they have been able to suss that out on their own, behind closed doors. But yeah, that is another one of those levers that hasn't been pulled yet. Hopefully they've determined it doesn't need to be, and it's elsewhere. But yeah, I agree with you that the scouting, I mean, it triggered something else that I want to just say real quick now, is that in the scouting, it seems like the mental fragility is something that's hard to pinpoint, and it seems like we just miss on that almost every time, at least the past windows that we've hired new players, and also the lack of just chemistry, players to be able to mesh themselves in with the team and come here for the right reason. All of these like kind of intangibles that are really, really hard to pinpoint, and I get that. It's not like you can just read on a stat page, this player has 10 out of 10 chemistry, this player has 10 out of 10 mental resilience. Like that doesn't exist. So I get why it's hard to do that, and good people who can suss that out are extremely well paid. So we haven't had a good track record for it, but hopefully we can start getting that, because I really do think that those were two of the biggest issues that we've had, just bringing it, and then that, and not being able to figure out why players keep getting injured when they come here. Maybe physically fragile as well. So that's something we need to look at as well.
Yeah, it's true. And if basically some of these players are coming in at a very low point, and if they're agreeing to come to our side, and it's not like these are like just absolute useless players or anything like that, because you have some guys that are maybe captained their side. I think that's a good sign that okay, they're maybe here for the right reasons. We'll see. But with Enya Mahai, that's interesting.
If he gets injured, I'm just like, there's something wrong going on. Because the reason why we got the guy basically is because of his tankiness. So like, if he gets injured, it's just like, okay, well, there's like a curse or something going on.
Right. Because he was as consistent as they come as far as how many games and minutes that he plays for any side that he's on. It's like, yeah, and still at his prime age. Yeah, that's really gonna, I think, be another telltale. But yeah, it's a good spot to stop there.
Yeah, because we'll just keep going. So
yeah,
and we just don't stop. We gotta pick a side. Pick a moment. Joshua says he will be this. Will Ronnie be on this weekend's game? I believe so, yeah, because this weekend's game was not a Leagues Cup game, will not be a Leagues Cup game, and so thus the red card. Not only did he pay for it this game, so even if there was a Leagues Cup game, that he wouldn't have to pay for it again. He paid for it tonight. MLS season, he does not have that red card affliction, so he won't have to pay anything there. So he will be there. Yep. Okay, so yeah, not hearing any more questions, we will adjourn for tonight at exactly midnight.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, awesome.
Amazing.
All right,
Well,
so yeah.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I'll sign us off. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much as always for hanging out, especially after our first win in months and our first win in League's Cup. So yeah, it's definitely a good one in the sense that yeah, we were finally able to be happy, at least from Atlutd United. But yeah, any last words, Mike?
Nope. Good to go.
All right. Well, guys, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I've been AJ. That's Michael. See you in the next video. Good night.
Good night, everyone.